So that Thursday had gotten induced, and I tell you what, nothing happened. Friday rolls around again, nothing. Luca did not want to come out. And something so special about the name Luca, I was very blessed to be able to name my birth daughter. And her middle name, which, just to be safe and respect privacy, I won't say her middle name, but it's a family name for not only myself, but for Kate and Joel. And so it was such a special thing to be able to come together as family and name our daughter together. And I just felt so loved and so appreciated in the fact that they were so willing and so excited to take the name that I had placed upon my birth child. Being in the hospital there was a lot of emotions. There were some people in my life that I still had not yet told that I had even planned to place my daughter for adoption. I had told people that I had kind of told everybody, but one of the people that I had not told was my sister. And it hurts. You know, anytime I saw her and saw how excited she was for me to be pregnant and to have a little niece, it hurt that I felt scared to tell her. But I was so scared because of the amount and the level at which she was horrifically physically abused. And so, you know, I didn't even tell her that I had gone in to get induced. And so I just felt like I was in this hospital room living a complete lie, but still being so excited. And it was confusing. It was really, really hard. So when, you know, Saturday night rolled around and there was still no baby, I was scared knowing that I would probably have to have a C-section and that I didn't want to have my sister with me. And I'm so glad that I got to have Kate in the delivery room with me, but there was still a lot of pain flowing through me that I couldn't understand because I didn't know how to express that and how to share that with Kate after, you know, I had told her that I had told my sister. And, you know, I told one of my sisters, which is one of my best friends at church, but it was just so scary sitting there and thinking like, wow, how am I going to tell my sister that Luca's here when I hadn't even told her I had gone in to get induced? But the beauty of being in the C-section room or the operation room and having Luca, you know, being born, it was just a day that I will never forget, not just because of her, but, you know, I was so scared. And Kate was so faithful to sit by me and hold my hand and just keep me calm and remind me that she was there for me. And I had said that I wanted her to hold Luca first, and I remember just, you know, you're kind of strapped down like this. Like, if you haven't had a C-section before, you're like strapped down like this, so, because you're shaking a lot. And I had looked over to see Kate as she was holding Luca, and I was just filled with so much excitement for her. Watching her dreams come true. And what was hard was, you know, somebody once said to me, you know, that birth moms, what we do is we hand our dreams over. And handing my dreams over and watching somebody else's dreams come true, it was hard. But I also felt so included, and I felt so loved and supported and seen and heard. So as I was wheeled back to the room and, you know, just the look on Joel's face. Oh, it was so beautiful. And watching him hold his second born daughter. And knowing that he gets to have this whole entire life with her. I just knew, I was like, yep, this is right. This is what I was asked by God to do. This is what I was called to do. This is what I was chosen to do, just like my birth daughter was chosen by this family. And going into the recovery room and getting to hold her, and you know, something so beautiful that I got to do was, for about the first 5 months, I actually pumped, which was wonderful. But so being in the recovery room and getting to hold Luca, and you know, getting her to latch, and just having that experience, you know, it felt like I was having my own child, but it brought so much peace after my first pregnancy, and it brought so much joy knowing that they were so okay with me doing that, and that they had no, at least not outwardly shown, they had no reservations towards me, you know, having such an amazing bonding time with her. And you know, they got to do skin to skin, and so did I, and creating that bond with my birth daughter is something I will forever cherish. You know, looking down at her and having her look up at me and just put her hand on my chest, it was like her just saying, like, hey, I know where I came from. Oh, and I will always cherish that moment. And just hearing her little coos, and getting to spend time with her in the hospital. And you know, and in the birth plan, we had talked about getting to leave the hospital together, and you know, me getting to help them put Luca in the car and watching them drive off. And while there was fear in doing that, you know, it was the being a part of it. And you know, C-section was not part of the birth plan, so that was a little kink that we had to work through. And you know, they got to leave 2 days earlier than I did, and it was really hard, you know, watching them leave and saying goodbye. It was hard, and it was also filled with so much love, though. You know, their families were there. Joel's parents, Kate's parents, and brothers and sisters, and nieces and nephews. Well, I shouldn't say nieces and nephews, just nephews. But they were all there and brought me so many amazing gifts. And it's not even about the gifts, but the cards that they left me. I read them every day as if it was a book. And they were so encouraging and so reminding of how thankful that they were. And not only thankful that they get to have Luca in their family, but how thankful they were to have me now a part of their family. But those 2 days without her were really, it was hard because I couldn't figure out the pumps. I didn't know what I was doing. I was like, I want to go. I want to leave. I want to get out of here. I don't want to be here anymore if I don't have her with me, if I don't get to have them here with me. And so I called my sister, and that was the hardest. The hardest part of the whole thing was having her show up, and you know, on my door, and on the door that was Kate and Joel's, there was, you know, the symbol of adoption, the heart and the triangle. And I was adopted, and I didn't even know that was, you know, a symbol. And so my sister saw that when she came to my door. And you know, all the other doors had, you know, a pink heart for girls or a blue heart for boys. And so she saw this symbol, and the fears that flooded her mind I wish that I could take away, and I wish that I could go back and that I could have told her the moment that I made my decision. But you know, she walked into the room just in tears, and you know, she asked me what happened. And I told her I placed her, and we both just held each other and broke down. And it wasn't because she was mad at me, it wasn't because she was angry at me, she was just fearful because of our adoptions and the way that they unfolded. And then, you know, she just loved on me and held me, and we ended up leaving later that day. You know, I had to get my staples removed. Packed up all my things, put them on the cart, you know, walked down the hall, and the nurses and the doctors they all held me and gave me hugs, and just reminded me of how courageous and brave I was. Even though, you know, in that moment I didn't feel it. And get into the elevator, and you know, then it stopped, like the door, somebody was running to the elevator, so we let them in, and it was kind of a quiet elevator ride down. And just before we got to the point where it was about to stop, the lady in the elevator looked at me, and you know, I had my wrist thing on, and my sister and I kind of were both just staring at the floor, uncertain of words to say. And this lady turned to me, and you know, she said, "Oh, I'm just leaving. I got to see my grandson for the first time." And, you know, I said, "Congratulations, that's amazing." And then she looked at me and looked at my cart, and then looked at me again and goes, "Oh, it looks like you're forgetting something." And the anger that I felt and the hurt that I felt is something, there's moments and days that I relive, and I just, you know, I wish I had said something, but I'm very glad I didn't, because I probably would have said things I would have regretted. But I just remember saying, I don't ever want to come back to this hospital. I don't want to. I don't want to have to come here for anything related to this pregnancy or anything else. I will always go to a different hospital. But I did end up having to come back 3 days later, because I went to see the lactation specialist, and walking in, I felt numb. I felt like I was unseen. I felt so confused, because, you know, people were staring at me, and I was holding this breast pump, and, you know, yet again another person, "Oh, where's your baby?" And I just didn't even know how to begin to explain my journey and the process that I went through. And so I just said, "Oh, she's at home." You know, she's with her dad. She's at home. And I just felt so broken. And I just remember actually getting a picture sent to me from Kate a little bit later on that day, and just being so filled with joy. You know, the first week after I left the hospital, I got to see her like 4 times, and it hasn't stopped. I get to see her, you know, no, not every day, no, not every week, but I get pictures all the time. I talk to Kate at least once a week. Like, she is so amazing at making me feel included and making me feel like I am a part of their family, and I am on this journey with them, because we're on this journey together. And being able to pump and give this gift that, you know, nobody else could. I was hesitant. I almost just wanted to donate it, but I felt like it could bring such a different level of connection. You know, Kate and I would meet up once a month. It was like I think we had done the 3rd or 4th Thursday or Friday of every month. We'd go and get coffee, and I'd get to see Livka and just get to sit there and hold her and get to give them, you know, the milk that I pumped. And it was so amazing. And, you know, Kate would always tell me, you know, oh, you know, right now we're doing, you know, half your milk, half formula, so that we can have this and have it last longer. And just knowing that was so fulfilling for me, knowing that she was not only thankful of this gift and using it, but she was using it sparingly to be able to use it for a long period of time. And it was such a reminder of me, for me, that God is not just using this gift to be used quickly. He's using it, and he's doing it steadily, so that it's something that can grow forever and ever. You know, everyone's adoption journey and story is completely different. My personal one of being an adoptee, unfortunately not super full of light, but my journey of becoming a birth mom and having this open adoption has been nothing but filled with grace, filled with love, filled with honor. I am absolutely honored to be the birth mother of my amazing birth daughter, Luca. And I'm so honored that her big brothers call me Mama Dom, and that they have so much love for me, and that they're excited. I mean, this last birthday of mine, they made me homemade lemon bars, and they set up a whole dinner for me, and we played soccer, and I am part of the family. And there's never been a moment where, you know, I feel like I'm stepping in too much, or, you know, I never wanted to ever feel like I was trying to take the role of Kate, or vice versa. And we have been able to come across to any discomfort and bring comfort to it. I remember the first time I got a text from Kate of her saying, ooh, I hope that, you know, those words didn't come across the way that it sounded. You know, all of my words come from love and come from my heart, and I am so quick and willing to do the same for her, and making sure that she knows that I fully respect her as Luca's mom. And I am so honored that she is Luca's mom. Luca is so lucky. She is such a blessed little girl to have a father who is so loving, to have brothers who are so just full of energy and like so excited. Oh my goodness, it was like during the pregnancy, there were times when it was like, you know, is she coming yet? I'm like, yes, in a little bit. But I just want to encourage you today, if you are somebody hopeful of getting a match and adopting a child, I just want to say to you, keep seeking the knowledge. Don't be afraid to ask questions. It is okay. And thank you again for watching this video and allowing yourself to come into my story and to understand just how beautiful and how different everyone's story can be. And if you are a strong and courageous, brave woman who is considering placement for their child, I just want to hug you. And I want to let you know that it's going to be okay. That whatever you choose and whatever is placed on your heart, it is going to be beautiful. There's going to be glory in it. And I just want to encourage you that if you ever need somebody to talk to, if you ever have questions, I am an open book. I'm here for you. And I would love to be able to come alongside you in this journey. And also, if you are an adoptee and you, unfortunately, like me, have ever felt the troubles of abuse, or you have just gone through things in your adoption that have brought you fear, your birth family is still your family, even if your adoptive family has told you that they are not. And it's okay to want to be a part of that family and know them. I don't ever want you or myself or anybody to take respect away from the parents who adopted you. But remember that your birth family is also your family too. And that you are loved, you are seen, you are heard. So I hope that whomever you are on the other side of the screen got some insight to the ever-changing world of adoption. And I hope that you have an amazing rest of your day, amazing rest of your week, and that just know that I am praying for you and for your family and for the journey that you are on. Bye guys, and happy National Adoption Awareness Month.